DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We are here finally, the sixth and final installment of the 31 Major Causes of Failure. It's laid out by Napoleon Hill in his seminal book, Think and Grow Rich, which, again, if you have not read that book or never heard of the book or don't remember what you read in the book, go reread that book. It is a book that is worth rereading. All books ain't worth rereading. My book is, Napoleon Hill's is, and a few others. But what we get into here is lessons number, or reasons, causes number 26 through 31, major causes of failure in life. Please make sure you have watched all of these videos so you can check yourself for any of these afflictions which could lead to failure in your life, and check the people around you, because if they're on their way to failure and you're hanging with them, that means you're on your way to failure, unless you have some kind of, I don't know, some kind of filter for those individuals if you may be stuck with them, such as co-workers, bosses, and family members. But we'll get to that in a separate video. Here, let's get right into what our 6 final major causes of failure are, and I'm going to tell you right off top what they are. Have power that was unearned, dishonesty, ego, guessing instead of thinking, lack of capital, and then we got a wild card at the end. The last one is a wild card. So let's get right into it. First one, power which was acquired, power which was not earned. Unearned power is a major cause of failure in life, according to Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. This is a very interesting one right here. If any of you know someone who has maybe inherited some money, maybe you have inherited some money, or you've been given a position because of nepotism, or you knew the right person, and knowing the right person, being in the right place at the right time can be valuable for any of us in many areas of life. But sometimes if we haven't earned that position, like I can know the right person in the right place and get a speaking gig, or maybe when I was playing ball, get on a basketball team, but I've been working on my speaking. I know I can present. I've been working on my game. I know I can play. So if I get that lucky break, I'm ready to actually capitalize on it because I have the game. I earned that even though I got a lucky break at the same time. But if you get put into a position for which you are completely not prepared, you're not capable, you haven't earned the respect, nobody who's going to be maybe having to listen to you or follow you, none of them really respect you because they know you didn't earn your position. They know it was just handed to you because of birthright, or you knew the right person, or some lucky break that you weren't even good enough to make good on that lucky break. That can be a cause of failure in life. And he was specifically talking a lot in this point about money. When people just inherit money that they didn't earn, often they don't know what to do with it. And all of you have heard stories of people who won the lottery or something, some jackpot, and get a whole bunch of money, and they end up worse off after they won the money than they were before they won the money, simply because they don't know what to do with it. They don't have the mindset to handle that money. That's why the book Napoleon Hill wrote was called Think and Grow Rich. Not win the lottery and grow rich, but think and grow. And growing is a process that takes time. It's not something that can just happen overnight. So if it happens for you overnight, that may actually hurt you more than it helps you. Second one, dishonesty. The intentional dishonesty. That's what Napoleon Hill says here. And this one, I mean, is pretty self-explanatory. If you're a person who just can't keep it real with other people, you don't like to tell the truth, you like to kind of fudge the facts on what are going on in certain areas of life. If you can't keep it real with yourself, I mean, forget being dishonest to other people, but if you can't be real with yourself, then there's no way you can be real with anybody else. And the more you're not real with yourself, the more you're going to be sending yourself in the wrong direction, because you're not even telling yourself the truth about what's going on, which means you're leading yourself by false information. That you're intentionally giving yourself false information. You know you're headed towards failure. I mean, I don't even have to go too deep on that one. Intentional dishonesty is a major cause of failure. Third one, ego. Ego and vanity. Meaning, listen, I've made a video talking about how to be so confident that people call you cocky. I did a TED talk called Too Much Confidence Is Not Your Problem. I did another TED talk on how to be confident when you don't have any confidence. So I'm not here to tell you not to have confidence. I'm also not going to tell you not to have ego. It's having too much ego to where you don't know when to kind of tone it down a little bit, when to check yourself, when to, as we said in the previous cause of failure, when to be honest with yourself. Because you can walk around being as confident, or appearing to be as confident as you want to be, but if you know certain parts of your game, whether that's your business game, your interpersonal game, your relationship game, your sports game, if you know parts of your game need work, but you just have so much ego that you're not even willing to put that work in, or you're not even willing to be real with yourself about it, honest with yourself. Like, okay, I'll have ego and be confident in front of everybody, but I'm gonna get in that gym tomorrow and get these shots up because I know I need to work on my shot, or I know I need to work on my handle, or I know I need to take a look at, the paperwork in my business to make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. If you can put on whatever face you want for the world, but make sure behind closed doors you're at least being honest enough with yourself and checking your ego enough, being humble enough to do the work that allows you to be confident. All right, and that's what I talk about. I've talked about that many times. I talked about it on my TED Talk, and I've talked about it here on video and on my podcast. If you didn't know, I got a podcast called Work on Your Game. Too much ego and too much vanity is a cause of failure, especially when you have it with yourself. Forget with other people, but with yourself, not enough to keep it real and do the work that allows you to be confident, then you got a problem. Fourth one, guessing instead of thinking. So when you're faced with a problem, when you're faced with a challenge, you're faced with a situation, and also we could add to this, since we have social media now, in Napoleon Hill's time, they didn't have social media, it's asking other people to come up with answers instead of thinking. These could be all part of the same cause of failure. Instead of thinking, challenging yourself to use your brain, which was bestowed upon you, is free, is the most powerful piece of equipment known to man still to this day. All these buildings you see back here and all the cars and electronics that you're watching this on, none of those is nearly as powerful as this brain, because this brain created all of that, and all of this that you're looking at this on and anything else is going to come in the future came from somebody's brain. This is the most powerful tool you have. Many people neglect to use it, don't challenge themselves to think, because it takes effort and it takes time to think. It's much easier to just guess. Let me just throw something out there, or let me go ask somebody on YouTube, or somebody at school, or somebody in my text a question. Let them tell me what to do. Let them tell me how to think. Let them tell me how to feel. Let them tell me what I should do in this challenging situation in my life, instead of challenging yourself to think. And you're not using your most valuable tool. And if you neglect to use your most valuable tool, then you must want to fail. All right, and that's why it's a major cause of failure. And the last one is a lack of capital. Now this one, Napoleon Hill was talking specifically about business people not having the capital, meaning the money to actually run your business. And I think all of you pretty much understand, at least on a basic level, you need some money to run a business, right? Because you got to pay people, you got to keep the lights on, you got to keep the furniture from being repossessed, the car, whatever the situation. You got to have some money to deal with your customers in some ways, some petty cash or something. Not having capital, the business is going to go under. Most businesses that go under because they don't have enough funding. And damn near every business that goes out of business is because they're not making enough money. They ran out of money. Something that has to do with money. All right, if they got other problems, like they got bad employees, they got dumb customers, they're in the wrong location, their product is not that great, they can figure that out. They got enough money. You got enough money, you can move to a new location. You can fire people and hire some different people. You can market and advertise differently and get different customers. You can put money into your products and services and make them better if you have the money. If you ain't got no money, you can have great everything and it's not going to work out. So a lack of capital. And when we're talking capital here, this would also mean there's many things that can be capital for people in life. So what if you don't have money? Capital can be time. Time is capital. Somebody who has a whole lot of time on their hands and skill can make a whole lot of things happen. That's an asset. Capital is an asset. Time. Energy is capital. Attention is capital. Focus is capital. And of course, money is capital. Knowledge is capital. You heard people say knowledge is power. Having the right knowledge and knowing how and when to apply it, that is capital. If you don't have knowledge, if you don't know how and when to apply it, then you have no capital when it comes to the intellectuals. And somebody may need that. A business person may say, well, I'm looking for somebody who's really smart, who knows how to do this, this, and this. You don't have to have no money, but if you're really smart, I'll pay you. I got money. I'll give you money for your knowledge so you can work together. This is where the synergy happens. Because you can have a whole lot of money, but if you have no knowledge, you don't have any energy, you don't have any time, you don't have any people, it doesn't matter that you got a lot of money. What you going to do with it? But you can use that money to buy other people's capital, their time, their energy, their attention, their focus, their knowledge. So understand that capital does mean money, specifically what Napoleon was saying, but capital means many things and can take many different forms in life. If you don't have any capital, I mean no knowledge, no time, no money, no attention, no energy, no focus, you don't have anything, okay, you're going to be a failure in life. That's why my whole brand is called Work on Your Game. When you work on your game, you will have capital. Hopefully you have all of them. Hopefully you got some money, some time, some energy, or focus, attention, knowledge, information, some wisdom to know how to apply these things, some just resourcefulness to know how to deal with situations that you haven't dealt with or heard of before, that wasn't in the textbook. All of these are assets. The more assets you accumulate, the more valuable you are to the world at whole. Now, you can have one asset and be the best in the world at it, or you can have 10 assets and be pretty good at all of them, and that combination makes you valuable, or you could be somewhere in between. But you can't have no assets and think you're going to be successful in life. That doesn't even make sense. You got to have something to trade. Y'all know how the law of karma works. Energy you put out is the energy you get back. If you have nothing to put out, then of course you're not going to get anything back. And if you're trying to get something for nothing, that's the cause of failure that we've already talked about in the previous video in this series. The last cause of failure Napoleon Hill laid out is the asterisk. This is the wild card. This is any other cause of failure that you have seen in life, or maybe you've experienced, that wasn't listed amongst these 30. Any other reason to fail that wasn't listed, you put it on your list as another cause of failure in life, and then you can write the next Think and Grow Rich for the next generation of people. So let's recap these last 5 major causes of failure in life. And we have number 1 is power that was unearned. That you did not earn your power or your money or your assets or your position, and you're not equipped to even get close to even looking like you earned it. That's a cause of failure in life. You were handed something that you didn't earn, you probably won't keep it. Second, too much ego. No, second one, the third one is too much ego. Let's just say that. Ego and vanity. The second one is dishonesty. Not keeping it real with others, but more importantly, not keeping it real with yourself. The third one, ego and vanity. You could be as confident as you want in front of other people, but make sure you have enough humility when you're with yourself to know where you need to put work in, where you need to get better, where are your areas for improvement. You need to know what they are, even if you don't tell anybody else. Fourth one is guessing instead of thinking, or asking someone else instead of thinking. Thinking is work, thinking is challenging, thinking takes effort, thinking takes time. Most people don't want to do that. They don't want to put the time and effort and energy in, so they rather outsource their thinking to somebody else. And I don't care how powerful Google and Wikipedia and YouTube videos and podcasting becomes, you cannot outsource your thinking to other people because you're making yourself weaker every time you do it. That is an asset. The ability to think is an asset. If you don't have it, it's going to cost you in the long run of life. The last one is capital. And we just talked about capital. Capital can be money, but capital can also be knowledge, information, access, knowing the right people, attention, focus, time, energy. All of these are assets. All of these are capital, because you can use these to trade for the other areas of capital which you don't have. If you don't have money, trade your time and you can get money. We call that having a job. Right? You show up to work 8 hours a day. I'm gonna pay you this much per hour. You get money in exchange for your time. You didn't have any before, now you got it because you traded your time. And you have energy. You put enough energy out there, you can make some money. You combine energy with some knowledge, you can make a whole lot of money. Combine energy, knowledge, people, and resourcefulness, you can make a ton of money. So you can take your assets, each asset for whatever you don't have, and you can trade that in different ways for the things that you do have, and find other people who have it. There's just skill cooperation, and you all can work together. I bring to the table what you lack, you bring what I lack, we work together, and everybody eats off that. So these are all different ways you can cooperate and coordinate with other people, and the inability to coordinate is another cause of failure, which we talked about in the previous video. And the last one is an asterisk. Any other causes of failure which have not been listed here, there are probably many more, because this book was written damn near 100 years ago. Any ones that you've seen, felt, experienced, watched, put those on your list and make sure you're not falling victim to them. So now you have it, the 31 major causes of failure. Save, bookmark, favorite, whatever you got to do these 6 videos, and make sure you check yourself consistently for any of these causes of failure. And I probably mentioned one that you already know is a cause for you right now. I hope you started dealing with it and working on your game. And if you know anyone who has any of these causes of failure, send them these videos or check them or get the hell away from them, because they will bring you down, because you become the average of the people you associate with, whether that's 1 person, 10 people, or 1 million people. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. My book, Work on Your Game, Using the Pro Athlete Mindset to Dominate in Business, Sports, and Life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audiobook, 100% done by me. If you have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.